Hi, I'm Sam.
And I'm Max.
And this is Movies Actually, where we give you an honest review of the movies we've meddled with so mischievously over on Maybe Movies.
And this time, it's time for sudden death.
Dun dun dun!
So this is the 1995 Peter Hyams directed movie starring the muscles from Brussels, Jean-Claude Van Damme, and the powers from Booth.
Indeed.
Powers Booth, and also featuring the talents of Raymond J. Barry as Vice President Bender.
Bite my shiny metal ass.
What can we say about this one? I mean, in terms of kind of personal connection to it, I must admit I don't really have much of a personal connection. I literally discovered it when it was put up on Netflix a couple of years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you had a much deeper history with it.
No. Literally,
Oh, right.
I saw it. I think I mentioned last time, I saw this when it came up on Netflix, watched it, and thought, the parts of the premise here reminded me of Snake Eyes, and that's why I decided or suggested it as a good one to do on the show.
So that's it. It's just a random watch on Netflix.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Well, personally, I missed it the first time round. In the 90s, I was being very, very snobbish about movies in a lot of ways. So a lot of them I missed. Unless friends said to me, "Oh, you've got to watch this movie. It's so amazing. It's so groundbreaking." I didn't watch a lot of the things that happened in the 90s. And this is one of the ones I missed. I didn't watch it at all until we did it for Maybe Movies. It's all right. The sudden pause makes it look bad. It's not a bad movie. It's not a bad movie.
I think it's generally kind of. I mean, it's having a look at it. It's got like a 5.8 on IMDb.
Exactly. It's not bad. It's just not maybe great.
No, of the Die Hard clones that came out in the early 90s, it's probably the one where they've at least tried to do something a bit more original than like Under Siege, where, oh yes, he's the chef, but he's actually ex-Secret Service, or Special Forces or whatever.
You see, no, in my head that makes this more like Die Hard. It makes it more of a clone, because McClane is the everyman. Secret Service agent is not the everyman.
That's what I mean. So yeah, you're right, absolutely. No, that's what I mean, is that at least they tried to... there was a tendency with a lot of those movies to have your protagonist being in the business.
Yeah, a secret badass.
Yeah,
secret
exactly.
badass.
Whereas this one,
yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. So the director Peter Hyams originally didn't want anything to do with it, but it's only because he had a really good working relationship on Timecop the year before with
Jean-Claude. Right? Yeah. Okay.
That's why he came on board.
Oh, okay.
But apparently the part of, is it McCord?
McCord,
Yeah,
yes.
was offered to the big three, shall we say? The big three action stars, so Bruce Willis, Arnie, and Stallone.
Right, okay, yeah, that's what I thought. That was what I'm about to list, yeah.
And they all turned it down for various reasons.
Well, I can see why Willis would turn it down, because it's too much of a copy of his previous work.
And also because he was shooting Die Hard with a Vengeance at the time.
And Stallone and Schwarzenegger were not known for playing the everyman.
No, I think...
Or looking like the everyman.
Well, I think Schwarzenegger turned it down because he'd just come off the back of shooting True Lies and something else. So he wanted a break. I think Stallone was the only one who read it and didn't like the script.
All right. Okay. So let's start at the beginning. The plot. So we have Jean-Claude Van Damme playing a certain Mr. McCord, an ex-firefighter, which we see at the beginning of the movie.
All too briefly.
Who has a bad situation that leads him to leave the firefighting force and go into other work. And we catch him up 2 years later as a fire marshal, or a fire...
He's fire marshal.
Yeah, fire marshal. At the arena for
it's the Pittsburgh, I think.
Pittsburgh. I nearly said Philadelphia. It's Pittsburgh.
Right state. Wrong city.
Yeah, for a ice hockey match. And brings his kids along as a bit of a birthday present for his boy, and stuff and shenanigans ensue.
Because we have in the royal box, if you like, at the arena, is a special visit from the Vice President.
Indeed. So that's, without giving anything away, a very rough breakdown of the plot.
As I said, there were similarities there, whereas Snake Eyes is very much a noir-esque political thriller. This is leave your brain at the door action.
Oh, what it says on the tin. Absolutely, yeah. It's a competent mid-90s action movie, is what it is. There are moments when it really would like to be a successor to Die Hard. And unfortunately, it doesn't succeed in, if I'm going to be honest, any of the instances it tries.
No. And it didn't at the box office either. This took about 64 million worldwide on an estimated budget of 35 million. Die Hard with a Vengeance took more in its first weekend.
There you go.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
It didn't achieve what it set out to achieve, is one of the things I'm going to say about this. Now, like I said, I'd only watched this movie 4 maybe movies. So tonight, watching this was my 3rd time watching it.
So 4th, probably.
And I'm going to be honest, I was starting to get a bit bored. There wasn't a lot of ingenuity in the script.
No.
There is almost no character development whatsoever for any of the characters.
Yeah, it does jar a lot in places. The scenes and the passage of time is not clearly defined in a lot of places.
No.
It's almost like watching a lot of really bad modern TV, where you don't have set up, time to mature, and then payoff. You have set off, payoff within like almost sequentially in the scene order.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh. So how much time has passed there? Or what?
Now, don't get me wrong. This is it's a perfectly adequate action movie. If you're looking for some good mindless fun, fill your boots. You're going to love this movie. You might not want to watch it too many times, but you will enjoy it. If you're looking for something a little deeper, you're not really going to find it here.
No.
Not even the kinds of depth that were given to Mr. McClane in Die Hard. There are no real surprises here. There was one attempt to surprise people in the movie, and
His face.
it didn't have any impact. I didn't feel any weight to it.
And there's some wonderful 90s CGI at the end.
Oh, yes. Yes.
So one thing I did find out from having a quick look on IMDb, I do go and have a look, because there is some interesting stuff on there. There's quite a long list of goofs from the film.
I can imagine, yes.
But one of the interesting things was the screenwriter who adapted this, or adapted the original story, had originally adapted it as it was supposed to be an action comedy, a parody of action films.
That would make much more sense.
Yeah, it would do. It absolutely would. Apparently the only scene that was kept from that version of the script was the fight with the mascot.
Okay, that makes so much more sense now.
But if you do want to see what that looks like, apparently you can, because while they were going to do a remake of this, and when it did so poorly, they canned it. They were looking at making one in '97.
Okay.
They did a remake.
What?
In 2020.
What?
There was a film released called Welcome to Sudden Death, starring Michael J. White as an ex-Secret Serviceman working as a security guard who takes his kids to a basketball game.
I had no idea.
I had no idea until I looked it up. But that apparently is more closer to what the original script for this was.
You see, I don't know if it would have worked, but I would say that was a better concept than what they tried here. It was entertaining because the script is trying its best to be serious whilst not being at all serious. And well, let's be honest, the cast doing their best to chew a bit of scenery every chance they get. There are no Oscar nominations in this movie.
No, I mean, again, as always, though, I think the best term probably does come from Powers Booth, but what do you expect?
Oh, yeah, he owned that shit. He did own that shit. I mean, he was like, do you see me chomping on the scenery? You will not interrupt me.
Again, he wasn't first choice. I think they wanted... James Woods.
Oh!
And he didn't like some of the personality traits of Foss.
I can understand that, but I can see how Woods would have been more impactful in that role. Yeah. Interesting. So there you have it, folks. It's a movie that's worth watching once, maybe twice.
Yes.
Not much more than that.
No, it's on my shelf now, so it will stay there for posterity, but the chances are it won't get picked up anytime soon. Which is a shame, but again, is, as you say, once you've seen it a couple of times, you know what you're going to get, and you're never going to find any other layers in there by repeat watching.
Yeah, this is not an onion.
It's not.
It's a pancake.
I think we've passed pancake. I think Shrove Tuesday's gone, unfortunately. But I mean, I don't know about you. You see, now I've got a bit of a. Oh no, I can because I didn't give anything to Twilight, did I? So I'm going to give this half a thumb.
You see, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this because that's how I feel.
That's confusing. It gets half a thumb from me. So it's a thumb and a half of joy.
Something like that, anyway.
I'm sorry. I do apologize. It just slipped out. But most importantly, I think what the audience, the lovely people at home need to know is that wherever you are, I will be there, inside your mind. Until next time, take care.
As always, guys, TTFN.